Welcome back with us with week 3 of USS, where we are bringing you our second game of today. It's going to be Keele Krakens versus NCL Tyne to Die. So Newcastle versus Keele in our second matchup, and two teams that are looking to gain ground in Division 2, trying to punch up, potentially get one of those higher seeds and get a better matchup going into our playoffs, which are in just a couple of weeks' time. Matterz, we've seen a couple of these, a few of these players before, namely Naomi, as a known player, was one of our captains in our little draft tournament that we did at the start of the split. But NCL as well, trying to build into this one, trying to get one of those higher seed placements in Div 2 should be a good matchup.
Yeah, both fun teams to watch, both very enjoyable to see, and it should be a good test for both teams. They're both trying to move out the divisions of 2, both stepping stones this game could be for each other, so it'll be very interesting to see how this matchup fares, and if we get any silliness like we did last game.
If we're going to get any silliness, I know Keele a little bit. I don't know them astoundingly, but I've seen some of their matches before, and they are known to get a little bit silly. And if anyone can thrive in the chaos, that is going to suit them perfectly well for this next couple of weeks of Swiss. Going into the matches that we've got in the playoffs, it's going to set you in a lot higher standing. And if you have more advantage or more experience playing in a system that's a bit more regimented, not a bit less like ranks, more into something like the setting we have here in the University Student Showdown. That is going to stand you in good stead going into our playoff matches. So if you can get some experience now, even if you're not winning all of your games, if you still have a high placement in these divisions, remember we do playoffs for all of our divisions here, so everyone has a shot to have themselves thrive at their current level. Would love to see some chaos here.
I mean, some teams, you create the chaos, you can thrive in the chaos. Chaos can be a primary strategy for some teams, and well, yeah, if you said before, every level here is available to be played. Everyone's able to get their experience, get their level, find their feating, and well, sometimes you can mold chaos into order, and well, we'll see what happens today.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll look at the rosters here now. We've got a few recognizable players. Catalan and Naomi stick out for me as players that I remember from casting Keele before. But we do have 2 console players, I believe, as well. So looking to see how they're going to do, especially against something like the cat if it's brought out, whether you're able to track the cat effectively and keep them in range to make sure that you're not flying off of the map. But just to run down the rosters for you of Infest, Catalan, Scars, Naomi, and Fina's Flame on Keele, and then on NCL we have YTD Souls, Ursa, Soap, Flip, and Meloid. And as well, Scars is an up-and-coming tank for me. I remember casting them back in the first tournament that we did our first regimented tournament of Winter Split. And remembering seeing Scars do very well in that match. So looking to see how these two teams do and whether they are especially able to thrive in the newly found chaos.
And maybe the controller's better for Jetpack Cat. You know, she's got their little joysticks, you've got your joysticks. Maybe it's a match made in heaven, but we'll have to see how it goes. I think it's going to be, again, a very interesting game. A lot of up-and-coming players, both quite up-and-coming teams in the second division. And I'm hoping for chaos, but we'll see.
Yep. And I think we should not be too far from seeing our map bans now. These 2 teams are in our lobby and ready and raring to go, so looking forward to getting there. But again, we saw the new heroes come into good effect for Crazy Raccoon. And here we go. Here is our first map of this series, and it's going to be Midtown. Of course, these teams only being able to pick from the hybrid maps to start off this one. So whoever loses this map will get the choice of everything else in our map pool. But Midtown first. What do you expect to see coming out here, Matt?
Quite a poke heavy map, you know, with that first choke, obviously able to spam a lot of damage down that choke. I'm hoping maybe for some Domina. I think quite a very, very pokey tank, very high damage, high projectiles, throwing everything at you, and I think that could fare match made in heaven with this first point and this map in general, so we'll have to see what it is. But it's going to be the Ram ban out from Newcastle and the return ban of the Cassidy from Keele.
Does that suggest potentially Reinhardt? I know we like to see some Reinhardt here, but does it suggest potentially that that could come through?
That could come through, but also the Ramattra does fare quite well into the Domina, able to just pressure through the shield and pretty much run past it, so that could be another angle they're going for. And then the Cassidy ban from Keele could lead to some Venture, could lead to some Flyers. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Cass sort of pressures a lot of the DPSs that you run in this format. You've got the divers of, well, the sort of brawly divers of that Venture, of that Vendetta. And then, of course, you have the Flyers being a hit scan. You're able to take them down fairly easily, but we'll see what they decide to do as we head over to the US and Midtown. Going to be looking to take that Firehouse early if they possibly can. And of course, 2 ways round to this first point, but 2 very big choke points that you're able to poke down quite a lot. So whether the poke is going to be here, and I think I do see a Domina through the walls.
Yeah, it's going to be Domina from the side of Newcastle with that Ramattra ban, as I thought, and it's going to be the Zarya out here from Keele. But no Vendetta, interestingly enough. Opting for the May, maybe, to maybe pressure that Domina, wall them, try and separate them, and, well, we can see what happens.
Yeah, Domina does have a lot of sustain, and if you're able to stay, well, if you're able to keep these characters within your crystals, even if you cut off a little bit, you should be able to survive it. There is the jetpack cat there as well, so maybe looking to land someone right into the backline of the enemy.
Yeah, dragging the Domina up to the top of that angle on the fire station to get a little pinching maneuver on the team could be a strategy here, but we'll have to see what happens as we are rolling out. The lifeline is going to come out, but who is going to attach to it?
Yeah, I don't see anyone yet, and the Kiriko has to be careful. Already poked out early. Hanzo trying to spam down this choke. Gars staying chill for now, not having lost any actual health, just the shields, and a nice little headshot there by Souls onto that Kiriko, staying in the backline, so not as much health as they could have here. Nemo's gone down early as well, and the kill onto Phoenix Flame. OSO going down, going really big here, and the Domina into full effect onto that sorry, my words are completely gone. The Zarya goes down, and now we see the cat bringing the Domina into the fray once again, trying to take the space from Keele.
Who says controller's inferior, but Ozo on the controller finds 2 beautiful headshots as the opening picks, and Soap on the Domina able to clear up, and Newcastle take the first point.
Yep. The fire truck comes out, and now they look to gain the space again. Could it potentially be a pull from the jetpack cat up to the high ground? Not if Scars has anything to say about it, and it's a nice wall as well to isolate the Domina. Has to use that shield to make sure that they stay alive, but in the meantime they found the backline instead. YTD Souls and Meloid able to take control here, and even with the high charge Zarya, you're not able to stay alive forever. Just about staying around for the moment, but with only the Lucio for support, the sustain isn't there, and they're forced to go packing once again.
Yeah, good jetpack ult there from Flip. I believe that they stunned up the Kiriko and dragged them into the team for a good elimination, but I'm not entirely sure. I didn't exactly see it, but I believe someone was dragged in at least. And, well, they've got a lot of ults here. The Panopticon online, the Dragon Strike online, and the Bob coming online, and if they go early here, they're going to beat the ults on the Keele.
Yeah, you got to be so careful trying to get to this high ground through this small choke, and immediately you can see the Zarya just not able to be kept alive. The sustain isn't quite there from Phoenix Flame, and eventually punished for that as well. You lose your tank, you lose the rest of the team, and OSO starting to dominate at the moment on this Hanzo. The Blizzard does come out, that poor little cat freezing in the corridor, but eventually it is not going to do all that much. Keele sent back once again.
Yeah, the Blizzard just used to try and trade out on the jetpack cat, but a lovely Suzu there from Melo, able to keep the cat alive. And Scar's looking to go aggressive with the graph here, but Bobs comes out from YD Souls, it already goes down, but the trade out from Soap on the invest, and grab out onto Soap, but I don't know. Oh, Keele never mind. Keele turned this fight around, but Ozo's still fighting.
Yeah, the sustain's there as well, still alive at the moment. The Crystal's going to help out with that as well, but Soap too little too late for the rest of the team to get back, and finally it's a team fight win, sorry. Wow. A team fight win for Keele.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, it's been a very long day. OSO, though, almost at these dragons again, and you can see how much this Hanzo's doing at the moment.
I mean, it's just constant pressure, the fear of the one-shot from the Hanzo, and he's obviously doing a lot of damage. But a lot of ults inside of Keele. The Visor and Kitsune could be a nice combo, and the beat to counter the Kitsune of Newcastle. We'll have to see what they go for here, but Newcastle getting a lot of space here. Keele respecting the dominant.
Yeah, maybe respecting it a little bit too much as Scars has to push away from the high ground. I believe it's a Visor not put in. They decide to go against it, trying to get away, but not able to as Catalan, and now they're pressing forwards again. OSO are lighting up the kill feed once more as they look to press forwards and take this second point. There's not really much that the rest of the team can do, just trying to stay alive as Infest, but you're not able to do too much. Scars coming back isn't able to stay alive. The Scars burning over the faces of Keele as they push forwards once again to NCL, and they take this second checkpoint with almost 4 minutes on the clock still.
Yeah, and another great catnap from Flip. They recognize that Catalan has that Visor, and they go to the target and just drag him into the team, and you can't activate it.
From Souls as well.
And again, staggering out as well. Keele are losing a lot of ground here, and they're losing it fast.
Yeah, they have to set themselves back up here. It feels like they're a little bit disjointed as Flip just dives into the backline. Scars has decided that Maug is the only way to go, trying to sustain themselves as they try to push back in here. And the burn on YTD Souls is gonna force them to chill for now. They've managed to save him. The Catnap's back up once again. You can see how aggressive Flip wants to be on this Jetpack Cat. Catnap in. It's a good trade of that Suzu just to make sure that no one else goes down. And Infest has found YTD Souls in the meantime. But in the 4v5, they have this Kitsune Rush, the Panopticon, and the Dragon Strike, as you see going through. And they're not quite able to stop those ultimates with the EMP as that comes out from the other side. It's trades back and forth as Invest finally finds Flip. The Cat not being able to do quite as much in this team fight, but look who's coming back. YTD Souls looking for their headshots. Looks like they're going to have to back away just for now, but 2 minutes 30 left on the clock, and they can look to build these ultimates once again to try and overpower the Keele Krakens.
I mean, Catalan just can't find the opportunity to use this Visor. The pressure out from the Hanzo and the Ashe is just too much. There's not an opportunity for it, but Keele building up to a nice little ult bank as well. We got to beat the cage and the Visor, and Newcastle don't have too much to answer for it.
Yeah, the Crystal in onto Scars, and eventually here comes that Visor, but everyone's able to stay out of the line of sight for now. The Bob comes in from the other side in the meantime, and it's a 1-for-1 trade. Flip gets one, but the rest of the team feels like it's doing a little bit better for Keele as they look to hold on now. This comp looks a little bit better for them. The Mauga able to burn down that Domina, and it looks like they're stabilizing up for now.
Yeah, you're very happy with the fight for Keele. 1-for-1 trade, Visor for a Bob, and you still have the ult advantage. Yeah, that's a very nice hold. And they're getting a good position to set up here with the cage and the sound barrier. And you have to... I do like the Mauga into Domina, but it's quite a 50-50 matchup. You have to go quite fast because you have to worry about the pokes. If you wait too long, you will get chunked out. But we'll have to see what happens here. So Jetpack Cat drags a Domina up to the high ground.
Yeah, but that's allowing Scars to just get right back. But no, they try and build him back in. But Catnap is stopped by Catalan. Cat doing the opposite to the namesake that they would want. And OSO finding one. But it doesn't really matter too much when the rest of the team is flipping the team fight. Still trades back and forth, and Soap has almost built up the Panopticon here. You're able to get down underneath. Scars not really doing too much to try and get away from this, and there's not really much they can do to stop this Panopticon if it lands, and they're looking to force out Naomi here as well. Now, just looking to cement themselves on point, and the cage is early from Scars, trying to build these kills down. Naomi finds Flip. OSO goes down, and this kill feed lights up blue for Keele. NCL, the Pink Panthers, not quite able to do too much, and where it looked like they had a massive time bank for point 3, 4 minutes is now down to about 15 seconds.
And they're going to have to touch and try and build up these ults at the same time. They only have the Kitsune Rush and the Dragon Striker near, and the EMP on the side of Keele could shut this game down. Also, they're able to mirror the Kitsune Rush, so it's going to be quite dicey here for Newcastle. Do they even get the touch? They do. The flip goes down for it.
Yeah, flip goes down for it, and Meloid has the Kitsune Rush, but not really much else to go with it. The EMP comes in, and it's lighting up blue. Once again, that Kitsune visor going absolutely massive. You can't deal with the damage if it's coming in that quickly, and eventually, after a rough start and a couple of rough patches on their defense, Keele stabilize up, and they're able to hold on third.
Yeah, good comp switch out from Keele. Moving on to the Malga. They're just able to run down this Domina Ashe Hanzo front line, and there's not much they can do about it because, well, what can you do when range tanks when there's a Malga in your face?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're trying to put some poke in, and then suddenly there's a massive Samoan man with his chest right in your face. You can't do anything about it. The cat was working on the first couple of points for Flip, but it felt like when the novelty had worn off, it was a little bit sort of waning towards the end of that third point specifically. And Keele felt like they did a lot better towards the end of the map than the start at dealing with those catnaps and making sure that especially Scars wasn't sort of grabbed back into the backline and they were able to set up in the way that they wanted to.
I mean, they seem to be playing a lot more as a unit on that third point compared to the other points, whereas the first 2 points, Flip was able to just fly in, pick someone off who was by themselves and just drag them back. But whereas to now, they're playing as this unit and the Malga comp, it's a lot harder to just isolate one person using the catnap.
Yeah, it's going to be the Malga once again as they now start to press through to the firehouse, leaving the spawn doors. And it seems like they're playing against this Domina and showing her less respect. I mean, I think they were giving her a bit too much to start off with. But someone that you do have to respect is OSO, and we remember from the start of the map how well this Hanzo was doing at finding those early kills. Once again, the headshot rings through, and even though they're playing in this back alley, they can't hide. YTD Soul's taking down Infest as well, and it looks like this is a good first start for NCL Time to Die. They do lose one to Naomi, but that's going to be all they get. Well, they lose Meloid as well, so they are going to have to be careful. YTD Souls is saved by Flip, but they're still flipping the point. Our Keele Krakens are able to stay in this, and Scars is doing a really good job at holding down this point at the moment. They're pressing forwards. They're trying to get in on this, and Flip's kind of stuck here. Has to use the Jetpack Cat dash to get away and get up with the rest of the team, but it looks like they're not going to be able to contest this first choke point.
I mean, well played there from Keele. They go in for the engage. They do lose too early, but they're able to trade out quite effectively. And Phoenix and Scars are just able to sustain themselves in the Mega Room and able to just sustain and then go back in for the re-engage when they have the respawns. And it didn't seem like Newcastle were ready for it, but they have used the Jetpack Cat, set up the Domina on the high ground. That they should be in a good position here.
Yeah, it should be difficult for them to force them off here. Scars trying to use those stairs, get forwards. Naomi in as well, trying to get that speed control on their side. The Dragons come in, and it's a nice right click onto the head of Infest. Has to get back away, but in the meantime, they lose the Jetpack Cat again. Seems like a little bit of a sitting duck on the high ground. It is traded back, though, and it looks like Keele Krakens, for the first time on their attacking side, are going to have to retreat.
I mean, yeah, Flip tries to go into the jetpack for the jetpack cat again, but again, the unit of Keele, the way they're playing, it's hard to isolate someone. You more have to use it for the stun value, I think, at this point, but they win the fight anyway. Panopticon, Kitsune, and Overclock up on the side of Newcastle, and Keele just don't have everything yet, so if Newcastle go fast here, they may be able to get a good fight win.
Yeah, the question is, can you use this cage to your advantage? And I think that's a cage onto the Domina. The Panopticons come in, but it's not really going to do too much against this Malga. The rest of the team, though, is a different story. And when you're not getting the healing from the Kiriko, you can't really do too much. The Panopticon is what takes down Phoenix Flame in the end. But the rest of the team is going to sweep up, and not even Infest is going to be able to take a kill away from NCL as they look to stabilize here.
Yeah, it was a really good Panopticon there in the cage. It captures both the supports of Keele, so they just can't keep up the Malga. So, unfortunately, they all go down, and Scars' move out to Domina to go for the mirror here.
Not too surprising to see the switch up, not quite going as well as their defensive side did, but a nice kill immediately from OSO, doubling up on the Dragons with the regular arrows, and once again they're force packing a kill.
Yeah, just trying to filter through the small stairway, not really too much sustain, beat just not online yet, and the Dragon Strike plus the combination of the Soldier and just too much to get through, and they just crumble over. Infest? Out behind here with the EMP.
Yeah, they tried to chase them down, but able to get away for now. The invisibility is going to run out, so they are going to start having knowledge of where this Sombra is, but just about able to stay alive once again, trying to harass Flip in the backline, looking for somewhere to get this EMP in. This could be huge. They know that YTD Souls has that overclock from the new Sombra passive, and now with the visor, they're putting so much pressure onto them in this room. The catnap's going to bring Catalan to them though. Flip gets one onto Infest before the EMP is able to come in, and now Scar's trying to get back into the high ground, blocked out by that grenade. Can't really do too much, trying to get back through. Naomi goes down to the railgun, and again, it feels like this high ground is just too much for Keele to get up to. They're playing this really well, our NCL.
Yeah, they get the opening pick on Soap, the fight just gets stalled out and they can't make too much progress. Newcastle just able to sustain just on the staircase below the high ground and just come back when they wait for Soap. And, well, they did get a lot of cart progress from that, and they are coming up in a lot of ultimates, but Infest is getting hampered out in the backline here and will unfortunately stagger out.
Yeah, it's a good job spy checking there. They knew where Infest had gone to, and they knew that they hadn't left that room just yet, so the spy check does work. It's going to be a 4v5 to start out this next one. Panopticon is in from Scars, and it gets the kill onto Flip eventually. And now they're looking to build back into this one. The Panopticon back in return. Soap gets one, but it's traded out immediately by the opposite Nomina. And now, Naomi trying to keep YTD Souls at base. Still hasn't popped the overclock. Doesn't need it to get one, but that's all they get. Flips back. Kills with the purr onto Catalan. So this is still trading back and forth. Control of the point is in Keele's favor, and they do have ultimates coming in. Are they going to use the Kitsune Rush early to try and aggress this, or are they just going to back up? EMP on point, and immediately Phoenix Flame finds Flip once again. The catnap not in for this fight. The overclock comes in, doesn't find anything, and now Keele, with 50 seconds left, are going to force it to third, and we'll see if NCL are going to be able to repeat what Keele did to them on point 3.
Yeah, great EMP there from Invest. Meloid isn't able to use the Kitsune Rush because of it, and is able to just shut down the OC of YTD Souls as well. And Keele able to roll it into third now. They are a little bit behind on ultimates, but not by too much, because Catalan's building up to that visor with the Kitsune Rush, and that could be quite a good combo. And Keele, Newcastle don't have much to ask for it, but this is going to be a good one. When Flip takes down Naomi on the side and Scars are down too, that's going to have to be a reset out for Keele.
Yeah, Catalan gets one, but at the end of the day, even though it's on the Domino, it's not going to do too much, and eventually hunted down. This little cat looking more like a lion on the prowl and going back to taxi Soap forwards to take this team fight. You could see how much space Keele were trying to take on that one, but not really much doing at the end of the day. OSO has to be careful on this sightline, trying to get back. Infest in the backline as well, looking for a target potentially onto Meloid once again, knowing that that Kitsune Rush is on the cards. And that is the target here, but they're able to keep the rest of the team alive, and Naomi's gone down early once again. The beat almost built up for that Lucio, but they can't use it just now. And again, this feels like it's going to be a retreat. The catnap does come through, and already 25% with those new perks. That Tactician perk is going to keep Flip charged up. Scars now looking to gain an angle to potentially use the Panopticon, but the crystal misses onto OSO, and now just looking to take control of the point, maybe force NCL back. There is their target of where they need to get to. They're not too far off. The Panopticon onto the opposing number, and Soap goes down so quickly, and now they can build into this one. Infest finds Flip as well, and now they're licking their wounds. Our NCL, you've got to be careful getting back out to this one. There's not too far left in it, and it seems like it's going to be one fight here to see who wins this point. If they can touch, can Flip get through? No, they can't, and it's a very good use of the boots from both Naomi and Scars. And after what felt like a really rocky start, Keele bring themselves back into this one. And just about as it goes into OT, they're able to make sure that they can get through to the same amount of progress as NCL had, and they take map 1, which felt very unlikely from the start that NCL had.
I mean, that was a lovely Panopticon Scars at the end. So, looking to go aggressive, walks up, and then just gets punished by that Panopticon. No one's around to break it, no one's around to heal him, and it unfortunately just blows up. And there's not much you could do about that. They didn't even need the rest of their ultimates Keele. Just, yeah, beautiful Panopticon. Well, they just roll the cart right in, another boop, I think from Naomi, and then stop the touch.
Yeah, they just weren't able to get out of the spawn for that final point, and I mean, it felt like they were doing so well on their attack side, but it all broke down as soon as the Mauga came out from Keele. Of course, they did have to switch over to the other side and switch back onto the... Sorry, I'm seeing something from the prod about some 5-man EMP opportunities. Yeah, there were a couple of question marks about that, but at the same time, they do end up winning, and especially in the deficit they had 4.5 minutes for 0.3 from NCL, and they don't get the full capture. Feels like a little bit of a wasted opportunity, and we saw how much of it was at the end as they weren't able to get right out and get the touch back that they needed.
I mean, Midtown, yeah, very hard third point to cap, and especially when Keele just are able to get that Mauga in such good positions every fight. They had a lovely setup every time. Just Newcastle couldn't break through. They didn't go first. They always let Keele walk into them first. And yeah, they just couldn't do anything about that.
Does it feel like the cat novelty's worn off? I mean, some of the time they were able to find that Sombra in the backline, but that felt like more what they were doing rather than the start of the map where they were getting very aggressive, being able to find those early picks, diving in, as we've seen, especially in some ranked gameplay, the cat can do. But it felt like it was waning towards the end. And where do you think they go from here, NCL?
Yeah, I think the cat, it definitely, when Keele started playing a lot more together, a lot more as a unit, the cat definitely just lost most of its utility. I mean, it was able to still mark out the Sombra now and then, but most of the utility from the catnap and that was just unable to find value. And maybe you want to maybe just play for the cat, obviously. I don't know how you would maybe do that, but if Flip's obviously looking to try and find value on that cat, you could maybe go for some sort of control map, maybe an Elios, look to really try and utilize the strength of the cat, able to isolate people out from the team and drag them off to their doom. But it's going to be quite interesting to see where Newcastle go from here.
Well, we do have our map pick in for map number 2 from NCL as they look to take a map back and force a game 3 in this 1st-2. And we're heading to Samoa. And Control, not too much of a surprise seeing the way that they want to play this sort of more brawly pokish. You're in a situation where you can kind of play both, and let's not forget the bans that we had on map 1 of Ram and Cassidy. And if Cass comes through here on Samoa, does it feel like it's a better situation?
It could be, but the Cass... It's very interesting to see what the bans are. But it's going to be a Sombra ban out from Newcastle. They don't want to deal with that Sombra anymore. And the return ban of Jetpack Cat from Keele.
We might see Flip versus... who was it on that fight? It was Infest on the Sombra. But they're sick of each other so much that they've decided to ban each other's characters. So they'll be fighting each other on new climates and new heroes as we go into map 2. And do you think this lines up with what they want to do here, Keele, banning the Jetpack Cat? Even though it felt like the impact was waning a little bit towards the end of the map, sometimes that cat was just being a little bit too impressive for them.
I mean, yeah, you have, with the cat, if you're playing as a unit, you do have to be quite aware of where the cat is and what the cat's doing. So, yeah, sometimes it's just easier to ban that and just not have the stress of trying to think about that. So yeah, allows them to maybe just play a bit more clearer, a bit more just thinking about the game rather than the cat. So
yeah, well, we'll see what they decide to do as we head to the sunny shores of Samoa. And it looks like it could be potentially the city centre that we're going to first. And I see a Reinhardt.
This could get interesting. I think it was Reinhardt on the side of Keele.
I think so, yeah. I think that's a Sig on the other side. Nope, Soap's back on the Domina. So deciding to go for that one again. It's going to be Scars on the Reinhardt.
Yes, maybe. Yeah, maybe just don't want to deal with the Ryan and the Jetpack Cat. You can't do much as the Ryan when you're fighting the Jetpack Cat. But, well, the Ryan does, Matt, I said before earlier in the Abertay game, it does do quite well into the Domino, so Soap might have to be careful of just being run down.
Yeah, both sides going for the cat, and OSO now on the venture, potentially able to take more aggression, but has to be careful of the stuns on the other side as YTD Souls tries to take an aggressive angle, but looking even more aggressive is Scars, and maybe a little bit too aggressive going into Soap, and Soap immediately cutting them down to size. And eventually NCL are going to take reins on this first point.
They tried to go for a TP play on the Domina, and well, when charging at Domina from long range, you are probably going to take quite a lot of damage, so unfortunate of how that was played, but we'll see what they could do from here.
Yeah, you look at YTD Souls already sort of over halfway towards that high noon. That zoning tool's really going to help them as they try and play around these Symmetra TPs, looking to get towards the point now. Losing a bit of shields, but not really too much onto war. And Catalan taking the first strike. We said OSO had to be careful around that Cass, and maybe not being careful enough there. And they look to press forwards here as well as they play around the middle of the site. Soap going down super low, and Scars, there's nothing really to stop them from just swinging that Great Axe. And now they capture the point. They're able to stabilize here, NCL, but they can't afford to lose more players at the end of the fight like that. And now here comes the stagger. The stun is there from Soap, but Catalan cleaning up.
And yeah, you can just see there, Keele get the opening pick, and they're able to just walk down the Domino with the speed and the shield. Soap falls down very low, but a good Suzu and a Crystal is allowed to keep them alive, but they eventually fall. And well, that's just the power of the Ryan at the Dom. There's not too much you can do about it.
Who was that going down low, though? Was it just a turret? It might have been, but they have to back up for now, back to the choke point. And they're looking to use these TPs, but Naomi has to be careful now with OSO on this Hanzo that we saw work super well on Midtown. Are they going to be able to use it to full advantage again? Not if Catalan has anything to say about it. I believe that's the last 5-6 kills going the way of the hit scan for Keele. And again, they're stamping their authority on this point. And now it ticks over to their side as they gain a little bit of advantage.
Well, yeah, Catalan able to get another opening pick, and then that's just the go signal. Scars just walks down Newcastle, and again, Soap is just powerless to defend themselves.
Yeah, and they won't have a full shield to be able to stop this. If they're patient here, they can get a really nice shatter onto the backline. They've got to force out the shield first. So they're trying to do this here, but it's already gone in front of them, and the shatter comes in. It's big, but kept alive by the beat. I don't think it quite catches, though. Onto Scars, and the Panopticon is absolutely massive. 3 kills with the Domino Ultimate, and eventually they do dominate this point.
I think Scars just clipped the edge of the Domino shield with the shatter. I don't know if he hit anyone or if it was a good Suzu, but Soap able to just hit, I think, 4 members with the Panopticon. And well, when you're all in crystals, there's not much you can do, but Newcastle had to use a lot there. 4 ults thrown at the fight. And Keele able to come back in with the Symmetrical and the Kitsune Rush thrown in fast.
Yeah, they're trying to go quick here. They have the TP to get away from the dragons initially, and OSO trying to capitalize on that teleport isn't quite able to do so. YTD Souls trying to get back into this one, but they've been forced away from the point once again, and now it ticks up for the side of Keele. They've got to be very careful that they don't lose anyone else. Soap goes 1 for 1 as Catalan takes down the opposite number, and they still have control here. Someone's got to touch. Someone's got to go pretty quick. They're going to zone him away, and Meloid isn't going to be able to get back down from the high ground. Soap just about touching, but how much can you do? You're losing players left and right, and eventually it is going to be the city centre going towards Keele. Soap says bye-bye. Soap finds the water, and there's Suds in there, but there's nothing on the point now apart from a lowly little tracer for NCL, but are they flipping this? There's only 2 left here. Flip's been found by Naomi, but there's 2 versus 2 on the point, and Soap switched over to the Doomfist. They're not quite out of this one just yet, as it seems. They're pressing forwards, and a nice punch onto the Reinhardt. The charge misses. And again, it feels like they're building back up into it. Soap has to be careful going down a little bit low, but trying to still force pressure onto Scars. The punch comes in again, but Catalan trying to take back control here as they're trying to push back forward. Soap goes down low. Catalan going huge, and you can see how much this cast means to them. The Sam, it doesn't matter. Naomi with the melee, and after a hard-fought first point, eventually, it took a little bit longer than we thought it might have done, but Keele secure the first point, and they go into second. And look at Catalan's numbers.
Catalan is just taking over this lobby, but Newcastle gave it a very good attempt there. Scar able to try Soap off point, and I think YTD and Flip just use that as an opportunity when everyone's distracted. You just jump onto the point, and I think kill 2 and put it into a 2v2. They definitely gave it a good go, but you can't do that much when Catalan's shooting like this, but they are going to try. So, moving over to the Zarya, and I think I saw a Vendetta for Oso before they went over to the Symmetra, so I imagine they'll go back after the TP?
Potentially,
they will.
Yep, it is the Vendetta, and Infest deciding to stick with the Symmetra. We did see the May hovered slightly, but they look to build back to the higher ground here. The point control taken by Soap as they look to bubble in this Vendetta, and now we see the power that this team can have, but not if you lose your Vendetta like that. There's still the bubble there, and they still have the point control. Scars was down low, had to drop, but now looking to get back through, uses a trampoline to burst back onto the backline, and even with the bubble, they're still going down low. Infest getting 2, that beam trumping the beam of Soap, and once again, Keele in control.
Keele just looked like they found this extra gear. They're playing just too fast, it looks, for Newcastle. They just can't find their footing. They can't just dig their feet into the side of the wall and just find anything that can stick. But if you can find some opportunity, it's going to be on the Zarya Vendetta.
Yeah, and already with this silver bullet perk for Catalan as well, we saw how well they were doing and immediately picks out OSO. My word, this cast is going absolutely huge. And you can see as well with the sort of London Spitfires-esque comp, Meloid's just about able to get away, but Scars is pinned into the spawn. And Meloid tries to get back into the carrier, but not able to do so, and once again, Keele winning another team fight.
I mean, yeah, Scars pins in, big distraction, come shoot the German man, and then Catalan just picking people off left, right, and center. He might get another out of Soap already, but he doesn't get it. But Scars is just swinging forward. Eric Shatter in the spawn room. And
this is criminal. This is absolutely disgusting, and even the turrets are finding kills now. Everything going the way of Keele, and they've still got that Kitsune rush in the back pocket. Maybe a little bit of an overinvest. Don't think they needed all the ults they used on that fight, but 77% means that they're in charge of this second point in the volcano, and the pressure cooker here for NCL. It's now or never. It's time to die, and YTD Souls takes up the mantle, finds 2. Phoenix Flame going down low as well, able to use the TP, but we're sick here. If we're YTD Souls of hearing the other Cassidy going so big, Infest does find 2, but at the end of the day, I don't think they're going to be able to fight back into this one.
Scars is going for it,
though. Yeah, Scars is going in, and we're seeing the star player once again. Catalan, you can't be doing this. 98%, they're forced to come back. Now do you have someone left to touch? The beat is in, charging in as Meloid, but that's all they've got at the moment. Both bubbles used, the grab is also in. Doesn't have a beat to sustain it, but they don't need it if they have that cleanse. And now Soap just desperately trying to stay on the point. OSO, the Sundering Blade, takes down Infest, but they're trading back and forth. And now they're looking to take command of the point once again. YTD Souls has to go over to the Tracer to try and keep the point away from Keele, but much as they try and dig their heels in, they can't stay on solid ground, and the Keele Krakens drag them back into the water, into the depths, and it's a clean 2-0 series win for them here on Samoa after taking Midtown on our first map.
Catalan just able to find 2 kills on that recontest, but we also have to give credit to Infest there. Finding that 2 trades when he's the last one alive just gives the opportunity for Scars and Catalan to just run back in, and I don't think Newcastle expected that recontest at all. They looked quite caught off guard.
Yeah, I don't think they expected it that soon. I definitely don't think they expected to immediately go down to the hit scan on the opposing side, but Catalan doing so much towards, both of those points. I think the numbers eventually were a little bit absurd. But at the end of the day, it is Keele Krakens that take the 2-0, and with both these teams looking to get mid to high Division 2 status, this is a statement from Keele Krakens and a statement of intent. We're going to give you a little bit of time to cool off after that one, but we are going to go to an interview straight afterwards as we go to a little bit of a break and then come back with an interview with one of our players from Keele Krakens. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back with us for the end of our live Week 3 games. Obviously, we are going to have replays for you this week as well, but we are now joined by one of the victorious players from the Keele Krakens. It's Scars. How are you doing, Scars?
Hi, great. How you guys doing?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Definitely enjoyed seeing that series. And just my first question for you. We had Midtown first, obviously. It felt like you guys were in a little bit of trouble on your defensive side to start off with, but the switch to Amalga enabled you to get a bit more into the map. And did you feel like the momentum flipped in your favor after the switch in team comp?
Definitely. I think when we were in the Malga, I think the tempo that we bought, they just couldn't really match it. They just let us go first a lot of the time. And then if you let Malga go first, it's going to be very, very hard for you to regain that space. Especially on Domina as well. I think that was like the decision that swayed me, to be honest, is once Domina puts shields down, like if you get her off that shield, she's pretty pokeable. So as long as we could go first, we just capitalized off that.
I just had a bit of problem with Discord there, my fault. And I was going back to that Midtown map 1. The Jetpack Cat seemed to be a bit of a problem at first, but more as the map went on, you seem to be able to deal with it a lot more effectively. How did you think you managed to do that?
I think it was just, from a comms perspective, I think that was more important than anything, is understanding where the cat was and what they were looking to do. The cat is annoying. I'm a dog person, but yeah, the cat is annoying. But I think once you have like live tracking from everybody on where the cat is, it makes it a lot easier for your hit scans to kind of deny the cat space. I think that's one important thing that we're learning about the cat is your hit scan's got to be switched on to deal with it.
Yeah, well, map 2, it was just the Scars and Catalan show it seemed to be. How did you think that you were able to just start rolling them over as just this dynamic duo?
Flex DPS asked if we could run a sim comp, and then the neurons in my brain lit up, and I thought, "Ooh, sim Ryan." I love a bit of Ryan, and as soon as the TP was in play, yeah, I think once I'm on Ryan, I'm in my element. I'm able to play how I want to play, play risky, play daring, play fun. Yeah, the shadows were great. I love it. If you heard the VC when I got booped on one of the shadows and hit the shield, the VC definitely heard me expel some disgratitude about that.
Well, speaking about our new heroes once again, we did see you on the Domina on the latter side of Midtown. And do you feel like your team is one of the teams that is going to be able to take advantage of the new meta that's brought in from these new heroes? Obviously, you've got another week of Swiss coming up, but then we are looking into playoffs. How far do you think you can go with and without these new heroes?
I think with the new heroes, I've been playing Domina quite a lot since her release. I quite like her. I think with the new heroes and the players that we have, I think we're going to be sort of the authors of our own destruction. I think we can go as far as we want with these characters, but I think the more we practice them, the better, because we haven't really practiced. I think that's the first time I've played Domino with this team, so it was a bit risky. But no, I think it worked well when we were matching it. I think it went better in our favor. I think playing the tempo with the it feels like old Orisa sort of with the shield placements, where if their dominant places shield earlier, you can look to take the space off her and then place your shield in a better position. It sort of feels like we're coming back to Overwatch 1 peak. That's one way I can put it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before we let you go and celebrate your win, is there anyone on your team in particular that you would like to shout out?
I'd like to shout out Crispy because we had him for both our games today, but he didn't get to play a game. But he's still positive and he's still keeping his mental there, even though he didn't get to play today. So I think that makes it a lot easier for me to make decisions when people are so like accommodating to what needs to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, keep that momentum high, and potentially we will see you in one of our playoff brackets. Congratulations, Scars. We'll let you go and celebrate with your team. But for now, we're going to celebrate our team as well, the team that has brought you these 2 series today. And we will see who they are right now. Luau producing, our observers, KPJ and Froggo. Me and Matterz have been bringing you the games, and Reclaimer obviously has been going around doing pretty much everything else. But for now, we're going to love you and leave you. But if you feel so inclined, you should head over to USS Esports 2, where there's a nail-biter of a series between Edinburgh and Oxford on its map 3 to see who will win out that one. And once again, we implore you to go over there and check out more of our games. We will be bringing you replay streams as well throughout the week, so keep an eye on the Discord and all of our socials to make sure that you stay tuned. But for now, it's goodbye from me and Matterz.
Yeah.
And it's goodbye from the rest of the team.